Hey, welcome. I'm a guitar nerd, and today we're going to be talking about the attenuator function on the st.Rock Reactor 2. So I chose a rock and roll SG guitar riff from the demo song that I put together to try out and show off the st.Rock Reactor 2. And I decided to reamp, so out of my Audient interface through my Radial reamp into my Mesa Mark IV combo with the reactor between the power amp output and the speaker. And I made a tone on the Mark IV that is a kind of tone that really makes sense to demonstrate an attenuator for. So it's a really pushed power tube kind of tone. The distortion is power tube. $16 dB down, 18.5 dB down, 23.9 dB down, 30.2 dB down, 33.8 dB down, 36.6 dB down, 40 dB down, 45.5 dB down. So that's pretty well where I could stop grabbing any useful audio levels, but the attenuator goes all the way to 0, so you'll still hear something until you can't hear anything from your speaker anymore. All right, so I'm going to flip through that again quick, so going all the way back up. So we're at 16 dB down. So that's 16 dB down from no attenuation whatsoever. So this is the insertion attenuation. So watch the bass frequencies there, around that 120 kind of peak, and this guy, whatever, 250-ish. So I'll even just leave my mouse there at the 251, and we'll just kind of see. As we go down to 45.5, we do have some reduction, and let's look at that 120 peak. So we have a reduction generally in the bass response. So might lose about 5 dB or so in the bass region. There is the biggest change in this area. So let's watch that. We get a reduction there as well. So I see a pretty big dip. So pretty immediately, but so there were 23.8 9, so 24 dB down, which is quiet. And you see that we've lost a fair bit of energy at that 5,600. And then the next thing, let's go back to 16 dB. And then I want to focus on this 5K bit here. So let's watch that. It's going to creep up as the attenuation occurs. So 16 dB down, and it pops up a few dB as well. So that's generally what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this upper mid-range treble stays pretty normal, intact. There's like a little bit of scoop happening and a loss of bass, and then you get this little creep of some presence. It's not massive, but it is there. I don't know how much of it is just we're sapping energy from the speaker, so the speaker has less oomph to move, so we're capturing less of this low-end power. I don't know how much of it is the microphone kind of losing its like proximity effect because the speaker's not pushing hard into it because this is a close mic, or you know, a microphone kind of dynamic microphone compressing a little bit and smoothing out the high frequencies when it's really loud, and you know, getting kind of boomy when it's loud. It's also very likely that it's the reactor to changing the frequency a little bit. It is just one potentiometer tapped off of the reactive load. My frame of reference is a home-built DIY resistive attenuator that I use to knock down, you know, I think it's like 3, 6, and 9 dB. I have that one set to. So it's only just kind of takes the edge off of a super loud sound. So I have that one, and then prior and simultaneous to getting the st.Rock unit, I owned a Captor X, and I found the attenuator in the Captor X did shift the tone a little bit too much for me, and at its lowest attenuation was too much attenuation for a lot of the situations that I use attenuators for. And then I didn't have a lot of flexibility with it. It's like basically off, a bunch of attenuation, and then like super quiet. So I just didn't have a lot of range in it.